So if my understanding is correct, Amy, you do cash receipts and accounts receivable. You need to know how to make sure you're clear on how to fix if something's reported maybe to the wrong customer, and do reversals as needed. Is there anything else? Have I missed anything?
No. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this system for a while, but I just want to know.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, just in case there's something, you know, I'll just pretend you don't know anything, and I'll review cash receipts, and, you know, hopefully there will be something that will be of use that you will pick up. And obviously, it's just you and me, so feel free to interrupt or ask questions or whatever. Okay. So I always like to work from the receipt batch list or any batch list when I'm in Sage, because I can do everything, you know, from here. So this screen is your batch list for cash receipts, and I'm going to uncheck here, so I'm only looking at unposted batches. If you want to view them, of course, you would check that, and then, you know, you could open them up and look stuff up or whatever. So, all right, so I'll take that off, and I'm going to click on New, and that, of course, is going to start a new batch. So I always make one batch equal a full deposit so that it would tie out to the deposit slip. So what I would do is I would say something like, the sample data is dated as of 2020, so I would do something like 05/31 2020 checks deposited, something like that, okay? And then again, I don't know how many banks you guys have, but here's where you would choose the bank. The deposit number is automatically assigned by the system, and the deposit date will default to whatever date you set to the batch date. So when we go in here, I'm going to choose a customer. And of course, you would put in your check number here. And then you would put in your amount. So I'll just say $150. And then, of course, you can apply it in a number of different ways. You can prorate it, or you could prorate it like top down or something like that. Most people use select mode because people are paying not just like on their balance, but for specific invoices. So in this customer example, we've got a whole lot of detail. We've got some credit notes.
We don't have that apply method on ours right now. That apply method.
What do you do? You do the top down?
We don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that option.
Huh. Okay. That is very interesting.
It's just the receipt amount and then select mode. There's no apply method.
Okay. Huh. Okay. That might be security. So what do you you're in select mode and then you pick and choose the ones you're applying, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because they could be all over the board, you know,
exactly.
One old, one new. Or
I really prefer that because you want to apply your payments to whatever the client is paying, you know, the exact invoice.
Yes.
Aging.
Exactly.
Okay. So I'm just going to pick a few invoices here. And of course, you can either use the space bar to choose these or something. And what will happen is it's going to auto-apply either the balance, the full balance of the invoice, or the amount of the check, whichever is less, or the full balance of the invoice or whatever's left of the check. So this is a $1,500, so, you know, there wasn't enough to apply to all of these, so that's why it, you know, applied the $521.29. You can also apply credit notes if there are any. So I'm going to just apply a few credit notes, and I'm going to uncheck that, and now I can apply a little more to this invoice. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Now, do you guys do any adjustments at the time of payments?
Well, that's what was a question that we had. You can't put a minus amount in, can you?
No, you can't. You can't. Well, you can if it's a credit note. As you can see, you know, we're applying a negative amount credit note, but yeah, you can't do a minus. But say, let's just say we're going to use, let's just see what we've got left. apply a few things here. Okay, so now we've got it pretty close. Okay, so if you are applying less than the full balance, so now we've got a pending balance of $25.67 on this particular line. If you want to make an adjustment to write off that balance, now I don't know if you have the rights to do this. So this
I'm going to pull up my thing and see if I have that. Oh yeah, I do have adjustment amount in there.
Okay, so if you click on adjustment, you can say, you know, write off.
Oh, so you can do it right in there.
Yeah, yeah, that's
so
an option, which, you know, isn't always turned on, so that's why I don't assume. So you can just say credit issued or whatever, okay? So you can describe it and everything. And then I'm going to adjust. So with invoices, you can actually adjust lines. So if I look at this invoice, I can see this particular one has 2 lines, and, you know, one is for this amount, one is for that amount. You know, that's more like if you had inventory or something like that. So I would just pick one. It really doesn't matter. So I'll just select line 2, and it's going to pull up the original GL account. Let me make this bigger. And then let's see. So what do I want to do? I'm probably going to debit this account. And press insert. It should. Okay, and you can tell you did it right because you can see the net balance becomes 0, or the net balance becomes whatever you want it to be, okay? So always make sure, you know, that, because it's very easy in these adjustments to make it going the wrong way, and, you know, people get confused, and, you know, then they end up doing the adjustment to make it like you're trying to get it down to 0 from 25, and you do it the other way, and it becomes 50, and it turns into this nightmare. So, you know, always your net balance and make sure everything looks A-okay. And now we're going to just close this. And so now you can see the net balance is going to be 0 because you have now the pending balance, the applied amount from the cash, and then the adjustment, and then you can see the net balance is 0. You can see my applied amount is now 0. So I'm this particular entry. So that's how you can do that. Now, if we're looking, let's just go back to this vendor or this customer. And if I look at history, it's going to show me the history for this line item. So in this instance, we've got an invoice for $220.96, and there's nothing else. There were no cash, partial payments, no credit notes or anything. But if there had been, you would be able to see all them listed here. So that's what the history button does. Now, jobs, that's for job costing. Remember, this is sample data, and it's got a bunch of stuff in it that you don't have, so that won't necessarily be anything that's relevant to you. Deposit, this would be where you could print out a deposit slip. So, you know, if I print this to the screen, you can actually use the results of this printout, which is the list. You can actually take this to the bank so that you don't have to, you know, fill in the deposit slip and then just say see attached or something like that. So that can be.
We don't go to the bank. We have a scanner here.
Okay, well then never mind.
Thank God.
What you want to do with your batch, as you probably know, you want to continue to add until the total of your deposit right here equals the grand total of your deposit slips, you know, or the deposit for that day, right, that you've in. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to it except the adjust. I think that's probably the only difference that you've got there. And you can also see that the deposit number was auto-assigned. You can see the number of entries, you know. So if I were to add another deposit, say that this is another check, and we'll make this one for $750. And now if I click on Go, you can see that I've already entered something somewhere, or somebody has for this customer. So anytime you see something that says pending, it means there's an outstanding batch that affects these documents. So it might be in this batch, it might be another batch that someone else has entered, but you can see these pending items are telling us that there's something outstanding with that particular thing, okay, that has been posted. So if I just say, I'm just going to apply the $750 to this invoice here, and that's basically it. And of course it adds up and it gives you the total amount for the deposit and the number of entries. So once you're happy with that, you can either go backwards and hit post. That's a new feature, I think, in version 2016. So are you in the latest version on your live data? Do you know? Are you on version 2017? Do you know?
I have no idea. Does it say anywhere?
Yeah, if you are in here, if you look at if you go help, and then you go to system information, it'll show you the version, like 6.3A. You would see up here 2016.
Yep, 2017.
Okay, great. So you have the same buttons as I have. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so in 2016, they added a post button, so you can actually post from within the batch. You have to be on a transaction in order to do that. So if I hit new, notice the post button is dim because I'm not on an actual transaction. But if I scroll backwards and I hit post, it'll tell me the batch is not set ready to post. Do you want to do so? And I'm going to say yes. Okay. Of course, you also post in the usual way, which is going out to the batch list, setting the batch as ready to post, and then posting it from this screen. Is that what you usually do?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And, another thing I should let you know about is if you have multiple batches ready to post, you can post all, but I like to post deposits separately so that the posting journal, if I ever need to print it out, it's only going to include one batch and not two. So I just find that a little cleaner.
Oh, so if you hit post all, then it will stuff all those into one?
It will, into one posting journal. They'll still be, let's just do it since we got tons of time because we don't have a heck of a lot to cover.
I know.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. We have some luxury here. So we'll say one. Check number. Let's see what's outstanding. I will, cheating. I'm like doing my applic thing and then I'm figuring out check amount's going to be. So that's one. Okay, and then we'll say deposit two. And we'll choose something. Dollar payment. Check number, whatever, and then I can add. All right, so now I have two deposits. Now, if I look at these deposits, you can see that this is deposit 32, and here's the date, blah, 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 and then 41. This is deposit 33. So they are separated. But if I double click here, okay, I'm ready to posting both of them. If I hit post all, it's going to post both of them, okay? So, all right, so now we have posting sequence 25. So if I go out to my transaction reports and I do a posting journal and I choose receipt, posting sequence 25, see, actually, that it's set up as one posting journal, okay?
Wow, okay.
See, so let's see what that looks like in the bank rec. Let's just take a look and see what the ramifications of doing that in cash receipts are. So we go to common services and bank services, bank transactions, bank rec. There's always, and of course I didn't even notice what bank I was using, so that's relevant. CCB. So if I get a reconciliation for CCB Bank and I choose to look at deposits. And I've got, here's my deposit one. So the good news is it still shows as separate items in the bank rec, which is really what matters. I mean, that's really important because you want people to be able to see the whole deposit because that's how it shows up in the bank to clear and all that. But yeah, if you were looking at a posting journal, it would show up as one. So for cash receipts, I kind of like to just do it one at a time, you know, so, you know, it's sort of 6, 1, half a dozen. So that's bank, that's deposits. Do you ever take in, do you do like credit card receipts and things like that?
Yep, we do. We are changing, we're not going to be using it through, right now we do it through ACPAC,
Sage
like
payment.
a cash receipt, but we're changing to an online so the customers can go on and do it themselves.
Okay, terrific.
Next
okay,
month,
so what's going to happen? What are you using? Oh gosh, I can't think. Webtelligence or something. They're probably if Jim and his gang are involved in this, that's probably Paytelligence or something like that.
I can't remember what the name.
Yeah, it gives people that customer portal, and yeah, it works very well. So what's going to happen with that is every day that'll settle and it'll create a batch in here, and you know, I think you'll have to post it. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. I haven't worked with that product. I know in theory that that's how it works.
That's what I figured. There has to be. I still will obviously have to go in and post the payments to the receipt or invoices because the customer won't be able to do that from the website.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. With Paytelligence, it might give them a portal that shows them all their outstanding invoices that are in Sage, and if that's the case, then they would be able to pick what they're paying, and you know, but that is to be determined. I'm making some assumptions here that might not be valid, but I'm pretty sure. I suspect. If I had to predict, I would suspect that that's what would happen. That's how it would be. So that should be really nice if that's the case. And then, you know, you'll have to go in and take a look at it and make sure it looks the way you want it to look, and then go from there. So one other thing I wanted to just show you. So we'll do another, we'll call this deposit 3, same bank. Same customer, and we'll pick an invoice A. I'll pay this one. 7. I'll give it a check number. I'm going to add, and I'm not going to post yet, but I'm going to go. I don't know if you've got access to customer inquiries, but if you do, and you go and you do. I figured you'd have to. But, you know, assuming and what actually. Okay, so if I look at my, let's see, documents, and if I choose include pending amounts, okay, so it should, let's see, at 403, okay, it's not doing, oh yes, pending receipts, there it is. So you can actually see that there's a cash receipt batch entered, but it is not yet posted. So, you know, if somebody else, for whatever reason, were entering cash receipts, you'd be able to see them, you know, see that in your customer inquiry. And of course, once I pay it, then the current balance will become 0. So that's what I wanted to show you, what pending amount that means if you hadn't really run into that. So what happens if you enter a deposit and the check bounces? So what you do is you go into, and do you do this already, bank services and reverse payment?
Yes.
You do. Okay.
So,
yeah, you know what to do here. You just go into reverse transactions, you choose your bank, and you tell what module it is, which of course in your case is accounts receivable. You can say check bounce, and then whatever. The reversal date, this is important because that's the date it needs to hit the bank rec. So it's bounced on the 31st. You want to make sure you're not entering it as of June 1st because then it won't show up in the bank rec.
Right.
So customer 1200, and then of course you just pick, you know, whatever check you're.
Can you do a partial? Like, let's say that somebody paid $100 and it was supposed to go to, like, split between two accounts, and it was applied to one account, and we found it months later. And okay.
So would that be applied to one customer or one?
Yeah, and then I have to go and fix it. You know, like they called and said, "Oh, this payment should have been split." So right now, to fix that, we do a invoice entry. We debit the one the $50 and credit the other account $50. But Peach is saying going forward, she wants us to do it as a bank reversal.
Yeah, well, what you could do is you could do a bank reversal. Now, remember, if you've got one check that is going to two or more customers, you're going to enter, you know, $25 to one customer and $30 to the other, et cetera. So what you would have to do is you'd have to make sure you reversed, you know, you'd have to choose reverse multiple transactions. So I'm not going to actually do that. And then, yes, you would have to choose. So if it was check number 1, 2, 3, or like, you know, I guess you would put the same check number in multiple customers, and then you could do it by check number. And then you could reverse all the customers or just the one, where you would reverse the $50 that was applied to customer 1200, and then you would go in and just do a cash receipt for $50 to customer 1300 using the same date, and you could even probably use the same deposit number. So let's do an example of that. Okay. So for cash receipts, oops, I'm going to close my door. Sorry. It's almost 5 o'clock, and the husband is home, and the dogs need to comment. There you go. Okay, so we're going to do, let's see, we'll do customer 1200, and we're going to call it check number 654321. It's going to be $25, and we're going to apply it to this one. So we're going to go to customer 1300. I think there's a 1300. Nope. Okay, let me look this up. 1100 doesn't work. And we're going to use 654. What check number did I use?
654321.
Yeah, okay. And then we're just going to say $10 for this invoice. And so it's the same check. Got a bunch of checks, and they're all 654321, but they're different customers, okay? Now I'm going to post the batch. All right, so notice that this deposit 3 is deposit number 34, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the bank, and we're going to reverse a couple of those, but not all of them. So what you can do in bank services, transactions, reverse transactions, is you can say, all right, CCB is my bank. I want to reverse multiple transactions from accounts receivable. And so it's going to be 654321 to 654321. And let's see what we get. So there are all my 3 checks. And if I make this a little bigger, see them all. So what you can do is you can say, all right, this one was wrong, and maybe this one was wrong. You know what I mean? You can pick the ones you want, and if you're entering the same check number, you know, you can easily locate them. So let's say that the $10 and the $25 was incorrect. Maybe they should be reversed or whatever. So I'm going to post those, but I'm going to leave the 50 because it's fine. So we've now got $35 worth of things that we need to fix. All right, so now I reverse those checks, and now I'm going to go into accounts receivable receipt batch again. So looking at this deposit 3, so this is deposit 34. So I'm going to say, okay, so this is fix deposit 3. And so once again, I'm going to pick the right customer this time. $1. Per customer. $25 one. So now what we've done is we've created, whoops, let me put my $25. Yeah, so now we have a $35 deposit, which is going to fix the deposit that was messed up. And, so when the person does the bank rec, they would just need to know that that deposit is in 2 places,
But what if it's months down the road? Like, what if it's 2 months down the road that the customer calls? Would this still be the correct?
Okay. Here's the tricky bit. So if the bank rec has already been posted and cleared, you can't do a reversal, as you probably know. Have you run into that? Oh, no, you haven't, because you're not using the bank rec, I'm sorry, in Sage. So you're going to be using the bank rec in Sage. So if it's 2 months down the road, then what's happening is that the bank rec has been posted, the deposit is cleared. So yeah, the only thing you're really going to be able to do in that case is do a debit note. What I would do is I'd do a debit note and a credit note against the clearing account. So what we do now. Yeah. So you do a debit note and put the invoice back in. Yeah, so that's what you're going to need to do.
Okay.
So you can do a withdrawal the way I showed you as long as the bank rec has not been posted. So if you look at your customer inquiry here and you look for 1200, and then I look at receipts, and if I maximize my screen, oh yes, it does. It'll tell you your receipt status. So as long as your receipt status for the posting is outstanding, then you can go ahead and do it the way I showed you with reversal and all that. If the receipt is not outstanding, then you're kind of stuck. You have to go the credit note, debit note route.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and you just do it against a clearing account.
Okay.
Yep. So I feel like we really went fast, but is there anything else you want to know? I mean, do you understand what to do? Have you ever run into posting errors? Have you ever had problems with that?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. Posting error will occur anytime you post something and some issue happens during posting. Like, let's just do an example here. And I'm going to call the deposit 4, and we'll use our same customer. A different date. Okay. And now, let's say that unbeknownst to you, somebody has gone into the fiscal calendar and closed accounts receivable or general ledger or whatever for, let's say they closed the whole month, they've locked the month. Then you go into post and you don't know this has happened. You go to your receipt batch, whoops. And you post it. Oh, because I forgot to change the deposit date. Yeah. Okay, so let's just do this again. So, all right, so now when I go to post this, hope it's good. All right, so it didn't. That's really annoying. Okay, well, I'm not sure why it's not working. I'm obviously, you know what, because here's my batch date. Anyway, so if you get a situation where it rolls into an error batch, what you're going to end up with is a batch that says errors, posting sequence 25 or whatever. So to troubleshoot that and figure out why that happened, what you want to do is you want to go into your transaction reports, posting errors, and then you choose receipt, and then you print, and it's going to tell you what was wrong and why. Of course, there aren't any in the sample data, but yeah, so that's how the posting errors work. So you may never even encounter that, but if you do, this is where you find out.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing, do you know, do you ever work with the, let's see, receipt inquiry? Have you ever played with that screen? So it's, yeah, so we'll just go through it. So the receipt inquiry is exactly what it sounds like. It tells you, you know, receipt. This would be another place where you could look up to see if that check cleared, okay? Now you can see it's kind of blinking because it kind of refreshes every time I fill something in. So it can be kind of a monster. But anyway, we're just going to hit go. So I've chosen a specific bank and a specific customer, and it's going to show me, you know, these are all the customer receipts, and it shows the status here. If the check was returned, it'll tell you the date it was returned. And then if you want to go and say you want to look into it, you just click on document, and it's going to open up the batch entry screen that was used when you posted this particular receipt. So it's just another lookup, but it's a receipt-centric view rather than, you know, it's really by receipt rather than customer. So, you know, I don't know if that would ever be of use, but you can also look for outstanding, cleared, returned. You know, you can do it that way. You can restrict it by dates or fiscal periods, et cetera.
Okay.
Inquiry. And I think that's probably everything, unless you have any questions.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, I think probably the adjustment was the thing that, you know, was
Yeah, I had no idea about that.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be useful. And yeah, so I think that's it.
Perfect.
Okay, well, you have a great day. If you have any questions, you know, let us know, and we'll be happy to address them.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks,
you have a
Carol.
great evening. You're
Thanks,
welcome.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.